What are you gonna do?
I don't know. I wish it wasn't up to me.
There's not much you can do. Everyone says forget about her.
But it's not right. We shouldn't ban someone from the group just because of who they are.
It doesn't make sense to me either. But why worry about it? Just let it go.
I wish it was that easy. The problem is I got to know Amy. She's just like me.
But she's not one of us. Her ideas, they're different. And did you see her home? And the way she dresses?
Yeah? So what's the big deal?
That's the big deal. We have standards.
That's a joke. Amy has every right to join us. She's as qualified as anyone. More so than others. I think I'll approve her.
Do you really want to go against everyone? No one will support you again.
I know, but it's wrong to do this.
It's right for you. Otherwise, you'll be voted out. You won't be able to do the things that you want to do.
I know. Everything was going along fine. I wish I never applied.
Well, that tells you how to vote. Don't worry about what happens to Amy. It doesn't affect you.
I cannot believe that I'm having to deal with you again.
Who's this guy?
Look, I tried that. There's nothing in here. What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to just make up something? If I had known that when I came here I was going to be faced with this situation, look, I've already reviewed your folder. There's nothing here. And these idiots I work for want me to get rid of you.
Do something. Get rid of him. Make up something.
Sure. That's wonderful. That's easy. If I'd known I was going to have to go through this when I came to this town, I would have never moved my family here. I would have said no.
We didn't mean to stare.
You mean nothing to me. I have more important things on my mind. I'm in charge of thousands of people. I've earned my position. I don't need these headaches.
What headaches?
I have to decide what to do with one of my underlings. He's been brought up on charges by his supervisors. They have absolutely nothing against him. The whole thing's a joke.
So why can't you just forget about it?
Yeah. Drop the charges.
It's not that easy. I want to let him go, but others want him removed.
But that's your call, isn't it?
You don't understand. This man's enemies are powerful. They have connections. If I don't do as they say, they can cause trouble. I could lose my job, my power.
What's he accused of?
Rocking the boat, being a troublemaker.
Did he do it?
Who's to say? All they have against him is he's an outsider. He's actually quite intelligent and charismatic.
Sounds as if you like him.
I'm sure under other circumstances I would enjoy speaking with him. But as smart as he is, he's a fool.
A fool? Why?
He had to know what he was doing would upset his superiors. There was no way they'd let him continue.
Do you think he was pushing for a raise?
That's the funny thing. I heard that he was once offered an advance, but he turned it down.
So what's the big deal?
Like I said before, he's disruptive. Everything was going so smooth until he comes along. Now nothing is right.
So drop the charges. Let him off the hook.
I'd like to. I'd really like to. It would be according to the rules. I actually dropped those charges, but his enemies kept pressing.
Did you consult anyone?
My advisors say I should consider nothing but my own future.
Meaning?
Get rid of him, even if he's innocent.
I guess they should know.
But my wife has this feeling that I should be more lenient. I've never listened to her before. This time.
There's a lot to say for feminine intuition.
It has been made clear that if I drop the charges, I'd be reported to my superiors. Then I'd probably be transferred or fired. So if I listened to my wife, I'd lose my position. And then I would be unable to provide the lifestyle she's accustomed to. And if I keep my job, I can do good things for other people.
But an innocent man is affected.
Perhaps. I know what the rules say that I should do, and I agree. But it's not the convenient choice. Why do I have to be caught in the middle? Why couldn't they have given his case to someone else? Maybe I shouldn't be so sure of his innocence. If everyone thinks he should be removed, that should mean something, shouldn't it? I should be allowed to appreciate my life without disruption, shouldn't I?
Yes.
If I can do good for others by keeping my position, I shouldn't have to lose it, right?
I guess not, but
Isn't it better to inconvenience one man than a whole group of people? So you agree? It really doesn't matter if he dies. Yes, everything will be all right.
Crucify him! Crucify him! Crucify him!
Crucify him!
Crucify him! Crucify him! Crucify him! Crucify him! Crucify him!
Take him away and crucify him yourself!
Like Pontius Pilate, we can find ourselves doing something that goes against our conscience just because it's the more popular choice. What are some of the types of peer pressure you face?
Basically the ones at school where drinking, drugs, alcohol, and sex, they come in all different ways. Everybody tries to get everybody to do what they want to do, and lots of people just follow that.
There have been a couple times I've been at parties and people have said, you know, have a drink of this or have a drink of that, or, you know, it's really cool if you just get so drunk you can't even remember what you do.
Peer pressures that I face are usually when I'm out at a party or with a big group of people and they want me to do something that I'm not usually comfortable doing.
For a long time, especially when I was younger, my friends and I shared very different values. They enjoyed a lot of things that I didn't, such as they just like to cause trouble and do things that I didn't think were as enjoyable. But at the same time, they were my friends, so I was in a tough situation as I had to make a choice of which direction I wanted to follow.
I can remember one instance when I was at a party and a few of my friends were doing pot and they were like, just come on, Don, you can do this. And I was like, I don't think so.
A lot of peer pressure to leave other friends, mainly because they're not cool or other people don't want to be around them.
Last year, my freshman year, a lot of the friends that I had made, I found out that they were drinking and doing drugs and that they were having experiences like sometimes alcohol poisoning or, really bad experiences with their alcohol and everything, and it was really upsetting to me. It's not the stereotypical peer pressure, you know, come on, try this, you know. Peer pressure isn't always like that. I found that it's mostly indirect, that it's mostly like, yeah, you know, we're gonna, you know, go party this weekend, you know, and they'll just make plans when I'm sitting there, you know, but they won't include me in there. And if I know who I am, then I don't need to give in to this peer pressure in order to have my own fun.
I would suggest that, one, teens should go to an adult that they trust and that they can talk to openly and confidentially, and talk out with that adult the problem they're facing, the options they see for decision making, and the probable consequences, good and bad, for each option. And then they also need to talk about where can they go for support or strength if they need to make a decision that is right but unpopular.
To help your friend overcome peer pressure, you have to accept them for what they are, all right? You don't have to accept always the behaviors, okay? Which means, you know, you don't have to accept a friend who's doing wrong things, okay? I mean, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you have to respect their right to believe certain ways, to validate that. You may disagree, and be honest. Honesty is probably the primary there. You have to be honest with a person and say, you know, I love you and, you know, not I love you but, okay, I accept you for and because of, not necessarily in spite of, okay, and those type of things. You want to help a friend, reach out to them, be with them when it's difficult, when it's fun, be there on both sides, but most of all, make sure your relationship's honest, and you'll find that person's going to follow along with you whenever you are walking with them.
And I talk a little bit with that teen about my experience of prayer, which is when I have a problem, if I sit and pour my heart out to God, quite often I'll get some answers in my heart, or someone will come into my life and with the answers. And I try to not only pray for the teen, but also help the teen see how prayer can really help with the situations.
I'd say, first of all, be your own person, and it's your life. Live it how you want and make the choice you want, and make sure it's the right choice, and try to surround yourself with people who allow you to make your own choices.
I would say that you have to make the decision within yourself and make it beforehand. Don't make it standing right there. It has to be something that you believe in, and make that decision before it even comes across. Know what you would say when you're in that situation before you're confronted with it.
It's okay to do what, you know, your other friends think is okay, if you think it's all right. Just don't do it basically because you're afraid what they're going to think of you, or their opinion of you is going to change merely because of your own personal decision.
You don't have to act differently or anything. Just be yourself, because if you're not yourself, you're never going to be happy. You just got to believe in yourself and be strong in what you believe and have good morals.
It's more cool to be different, to keep your originality, to do what you really know is right in your heart and in your mind, rather than to succumb to what everybody says is best for you to do.
Try and be cool about it. Don't, like, you know, flat out come out and say, why the hell would you want to do that? But more just, you know, inch around it, and then if you have to, you have to, and say no. You don't want to do it. Nope. There's no reason for you to do something.
If you want to battle peer pressure, you have to say, hey, I want to be in control and responsible for my actions. I want to be me. And as long as I accept me and find people who are going to validate that, then I'm going to be me all the time. And I'm going to enjoy that even in the difficult times. I'm going to find ways to still be me.
I think the thing is you have to stick to your values and do what you think is right as best you possibly can. It's okay every now and then if you slip into it, but always try and come back and remember what's really important to you, and try and find people that feel the same way as you do, because it's very difficult to handle the peer pressure if you're around an entire group of people that don't agree with you. So those people probably aren't your true friends, and you should try and find people that really will be your true friends.